it's so easy because I'd used Blue Jeans and a couple other things with other people,
Yeah.
and it was really kind of hard. But I've got a Facebook page with 65,000 likes on it, right?
Yeah.
It's called Jason Morris Real Estate Guide. In the last month or so, I haven't really been doing anything with it, and I kind of want to do something like regularly with it in investors. So
Let's talk another time.
yeah, that works, man. Actually, dude, we are live right now, I believe. Let me make sure. Yeah, we're live right now.
It's live online.
Yeah, let's see. Let me make sure I got to log in. So, man, I tell you what, you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what market you're in, all that fun and exciting stuff?
So yeah, my name is Gavin Welch. I'm a real estate agent. I'm an investor. I was an investor first. Like you, I buy and sell rental properties. I fix and flip. I do everything, new development, new construction. If there's money to be made, I'll do it, but I'm also a real estate agent. And I have a team now. We have a group of investors we kind of leveraged with about 4 years ago, and it's worked out really well for us. And last year was my first full year as a full-time real estate agent. I think I did 35 transactions last year, which isn't bad for your first full
Yeah,
year.
that's excellent first year.
Now I'm in the Florida market. I'm halfway between Tampa and Orlando and Lakeland.
Yeah.
And my goal for this year is 55 transactions. That's not the team. That's me personally.
Yeah.
So last year, where I focused on expireds, and because I've got a marketing background and whatever, I do with a lot of investors. I'm primarily a listing agent. I'll do some buyers, but that's not where my heart is. My heart is with the listing. I like doing marketing, and I like, these hard kind of some difficult to sell properties because they're oversized or they're a farm or non-traditional. I have a drone. I have a license for the drone, and I like the high resolution pictures and all that good stuff. So I'm really a best listing agent.
Yeah.
The market has kind of shifted this year, where things I was doing to get listings last year are not working this year.
Really?
Now,
So what were you doing last year?
well, last year I was mostly expireds, leveraging off the expireds to get more listings and referrals. Well, now here in the Florida market, the market has really changed. There are no expires.
Yep.
And what does expire is extremely overpriced. So, unless you just want to get a sign in the ground to get some sign calls, that's not a model that works. So this year I kind of hit the ground. I have a transaction coordinator. I'm pushing everything off on her. If I'm not generating listings, going on listing appointments, or meeting with clients, she does it. So we spent about a month trying to streamline systems to get her to do all the paperwork and all the day-to-day stuff and the phone calls and this and that, which we're still ironing out the kinks. I've added to my team some, but personally, there are no more expireds. I signed up for ZBuyer. I tried that for a while. I'm doing Facebook ads, following up with mailers. I've got, a drip campaign. I've got funnels for my leads. I've got a lot of systems in place, but the actual generating the listings this year in 2017, in June of 2017, is a tough proposition.
Man, I've been in that same sort of market. It was about 10 years ago, though, where, we're not quite there in Myrtle Beach. We usually follow Florida, it seems like. We're usually 6 to 9 months behind Florida and Myrtle Beach. But we're the same sort of market. We're like a second home retiree type place.
Yeah.
So, and right now, we're kind of seeing the same thing you are, where when something goes on the market, if it's priced really well, you get a lot of showings, right? And the inventory is rapidly going down. And kind of there's like a few things, man, you got to do when the market gets like that. All of a sudden, there's no expireds. The for sale owners are actually selling themselves.
Yeah. I'm working those too.
Yeah, you know what? You got to be like your follow-up system has to be cut in half. Like, for example, used to be like you talk to a for sale owner, today wasn't a good day. They kind of blew you off on the phone. You'd wait a week and call them back.
Yeah.
You can't wait that week anymore. You got to call them back tomorrow. You got to call them back tomorrow and say, hey, Mr. Seller, Jason Morris, we talked real briefly on the phone yesterday. I know you were busy, but look here, I know you got that house that's over on Main Street. I'm looking here at stuff that's selling and what my office has going on, and I can sell that house and I can get you X number of dollars for it. I can get you in your pocket the price that you're asking for it. And you got to be like really, really aggressive with it, right?
Yeah.
And here's like the thing that is even happening in my market, and I think every agent should be doing this in a lot of markets, is I wouldn't be scared to take that listing 10% overpriced in your market, maybe even 15% overpriced, right?
No, I'm not afraid of that.
Because, over the course of 60 days, 90 days, maybe you can price reduce them 5%, and the market's going to pick up 5%. And then all of a sudden that 10% overpriced house is priced exactly where you need it to be, or you just, sometimes I remember 2006, 2007, man, you'd take an overpriced listing and you just wait and the market would catch up with it in a month or two,
Yeah.
and sucked. But one of the things you got to do, man, is you got to start getting more creative with like your lead sources, right? Are you doing any old expireds?
I am doing old expired. I have a system called Vulcan 7.
Yeah.
And so, I follow up with expireds from 4 years ago. I
Wow.
go all the way back, and I spend a lot of time on the phone, and old expireds is gold. If you can get a hold of one.
Yeah, you know what? I used Vulcan 7 for a while, and the problem is Vulcan 7 uses their dialer to weed out like numbers and people can't get in touch with. So sometimes you can actually lose people from your database just because the person isn't answering the phone anymore for
Yeah.
realtors, right? I've been using RedX Onyx, and I'll tell you, RedX Onyx right now, it's Onyx is their premium service. I don't even think they really market it. You have to go through like a little approval process to get it, and it's about, I think with the dollar and everything, I think it's $250 a month. If you tell them I sent you that, or that you're in my group, they'll waive setup charges. But I'll tell you, if there's 10 expireds in my market, I'll get numbers for at least 9. And out of that 9, probably 6 or 7, man, I will have either a number for the person or a number for somebody that lives in the household.
Well, and I've got also White Pages. Is it the White Pages premium membership?
Yeah.
So I'll take the lead out of Vulcan. I'll cross-reference it with the property appraiser. I'll run it through the White Pages or Intellis. So I've got by the time I call them, I know you. I know how many properties you own. I know your wife. I know your kids. I've got all their numbers. I've got
my
their
God.
email addresses, and I have no problem stalking people. No, I'm just kidding. But
You're stuck.
I need good data because I'm going to put that into my follow-up drip campaign, and then I'm going to call you back in 3 or 4 more days.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I'm also using a system called Send Out Cards.
Yeah.
I send them what looks like a thank you card in the mail, and it's like, hey, great talking to you, blah blah. And that's kind of, we're working on getting that a little more automated.
Yeah, that's a good program and stuff too, to just follow up and stay in front of them. I'll tell you what I had a lot of success with in the past is for rent by owners. Now, your market's probably like mine. The rental market's probably insane there, where literally when you see the for rent by owner, by the time you get them on the phone, they've already rented the place and they have a waiting list of like 20 people.
Yeah.
But you're not really looking for the listings today with those for rent by owners. I wish there was a service we could go back and get the for rent by owners last year, but the person that listed their house or rented their house out this month, we kind of know a couple of things. Number one, we know that if they signed a lease in June of 2017, they probably have a lease ending in June of 2018. That's number one. Number two, we know that on a long enough timeline, I believe you evict every single tenant. That's my experience.
I've only evicted one over the years, though.
Oh man, if they stay there long enough in my market, it seems like we evict them. But we know that at some point they're probably going to have a problem with the tenant, and what you end up doing is you end up calling, and that initial call is like an introduction call. You send them over your pre-listing package, you ask how they're doing. Hey, if you're thinking about selling in the future, just let me know. Let me send you some information about me and my team so you know who you're talking about, what's your email address. You kind of go through that. and really you're just collecting basic information.
Yeah.
Have you thought about selling it? If you did sell it, what would you like to get for it? Things like that. Just as much information as you can gather. And then you just put them on a campaign to, give them a call back in 4 to 6 weeks and just keep following up with them until that lease expires or they have that tenant problem. If they have a tenant problem, dude, those are honestly, I hate anybody's misfortune, but those are the best ones. Because usually by the time, if you done that one eviction you had, man, by the time you done the eviction, you were probably absolutely sick of those people in the whole situation,
Yeah.
You're thinking, oh my God, can I burn the place to get rid of it? What's the quickest way to get rid of this right now?
Cash for keys.
Yes, exactly. Can I get the bank to give me cash for keys?
I've done that too.
But yeah, so that sellers typically, or that property owners usually kind of just tired of the whole system or the whole process. And dude, I've had people I followed up with that they got to this position. And then I said, I had one that I talked to the guy on the phone. He said, yeah, man, I'm doing an eviction with him. I said, dude, that sucks. You know what? If we'd have put this thing on the market when we talked a year ago, you wouldn't even have to worry about this. Why don't I just send you over the paperwork? And do you have the pictures you could text me? So I sent him over a digital signature. He texted me the pictures and I had the listing agreement back like 15 minutes later. I didn't even go to the house. He took all the pictures and stuff. And but those are excellent. And by the time they're ready to sell, it's like long-term business though. It's not business you're going to get today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other thing, man, I had a lot of success with in a tough market. It was actual working the eviction filings.
I've done that.
Really? What kind of success did you have?
It was okay. It was tough, and it's a follow up. It's a long term strategy.
Yeah,
but
it is.
Of probably 50, I probably had 3 come out of it in about a year.
Yeah, I found that as a long term strategy too. Contacting the homeowner with the eviction.
Yeah. But most of those guys own more than one property. So I called them on one property. He goes, "Well, I got this other property I want to sell. Can you sell that one for me?"
Yep, I've had a lot of that stuff too, man. And the evictions here in my market, like really good ones are the people that are out of town. Because we have a lot of that with it being just a second home market. They moved here for only God knows what reason.
Yeah.
And then they decided they wanted to go back to wherever they come from. So, I mean, that's been a fantastic source for me in the past. I like Z-Buyer.
You do?
Dude, I love Z-Buyer, man. The key to Z-Buyer, though, I'm going to tell you.
Canceled it yesterday.
You did? I will tell you.
Call him back and say, "I'm sorry."
The key to Z-Buyer, Gavin. If you watch the interview I did with Jonathan Edmond yesterday, Jonathan talked about it. Jonathan's in my market, dude, and we both consistently list things from Z-Buyer. And the weird thing is, I never actually talk to the people that he's talking to. It's kind of weird. Like the ones that I get on the phone or the ones that he lists are people I can never get in touch with. But the key to Z-Buyer is there's going to be multiple people subscribing in your market. You're not going to be the only guy.
Yeah. And most of them are investors.
That's right. The key is not the using the app. You actually log into the website.
And that's what I was doing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you actually log into the website, log in at like 7:00 in the morning, log in at around 12. And I've got a whole script and stuff, man. I'll send you for it. I don't know if you've seen it, but I've got a whole script.
I'll call him back and apologize and start over again. Because Z-Buyer is good. I'm not bashing Z-Buyer at all. It's like $200 a month, $250 or something. You get people, you can motivate people that want to sell. There's no more of a warm lead than that. The issue was that some investors like, well, yeah, I'll get you cash tomorrow, whatever. So they don't want to go through the selling process.
Yep, that's right.
So the problem I was having is, some investors coming over tomorrow, they're going to do an inspection and we'll have it sold in a week. And I was calling twice a day, every day. I'll bang the phones out because the phone is a cash machine. You just got to dial the numbers.
Yeah, you know what you got to do with those people is you call them up and you just go, "Hey, this is Jason Morris from eXp Realty. I seen that you were I seen you came through my website and you were looking to sell your house over at 123 Main Street." And you go through that same little process and then you go, well, typically I say, I see you were looking for a cash offer on your house, and I go through the process with them, ask them how much they want, and then I kind of flip the script on them a little bit. I go, gosh, guys, I know you're looking for $100,000 for that house, and you know what? I do work for this group of investors. They can come out and they can make you an offer, which I do have a lot of guys I work with. I'll make them an offer. Um, but I say, guys, these guys, they're in the business of buying and selling property. And, they're not going to offer you what you're really looking for. But would a 60-day time frame work for you, or with a 90-day time frame? You might do shorter in your market, with a 30-day time frame work for you, if you could get that $100,000 in your pocket and then just wait for them to say yes. And when they say yes, set the appointment with them and then just go through the regular listing process.
And that's kind of what I was doing. I was, meeting with them and going, okay, here's option A. We can get you $50,000 in 4 days. You're gone. We can get you $90,000 in 60 days. Which would you rather have? Well, 90 sounds good. Great. Yeah. Okay, but I got this investor coming over tomorrow. I'm like, so some people couldn't continue the forest for the trees.
You know what? I will tell you the problem that I've had is if I get there and I'm talking to them about actually making an offer on their house.
Yeah.
It's hard to flip from that, hey, I'm making you an offer for what's basically pennies on the dollar sometimes. It's hard for you to flip from, hey, I'm going to buy your house for $50,000, or, oh yeah, don't want to take that. We can sell it for $90,000,
Yeah.
It's hard to flip that script on them like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're sitting there in front of them, I feel like it breaks trust with them,
There is some disconnect there, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. I just said, here are the options. Option 1, cash tomorrow, be gone. You don't like the number, but you're getting cash tomorrow. Option 2, full price, retail, 60 days, whatever, 90 days, you're gone. You got to go through inspections and some other stuff. Or keep doing what you're doing and see how it works out for you.
Yeah, I don't even talk about like inspections lots of times there at the listing appointment, because like if I'm dealing more in the rural areas of Myrtle Beach, dude, people are really scared of inspections. They got this idea that somebody's going to do an inspection and they're going to have a list of 150 items they have to fix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, that's usually not the case. Usually GFI outlets show up and, a handful of other things. But yeah, man, I love Z-Buyer. It's just, you got to be quick. You got to call them as soon as they come through. And I try to set an appointment with them that day. I probably convert 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5.
Really? Okay. Then maybe I'm just a loser. I'll call them back and apologize to Z-Buyer.
Talk to Eva Langley and tell her that I sent you and you're in my group and stuff, and then try to beat her up on the price. Tell her you want a fantastic deal, But man, the other thing, dude, I've had a lot of success with in my market is municipality list pendings. That's where and you guys may not have these here. Here we can get them online. Some places they don't have them online, but what it is where the municipality is filing. They're basically getting ready to file suit on somebody because they violated a building code or some sort of city ordinance. I mean, sometimes it's just the grass is waist high.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is, sometimes it's, hey, they built a deck without a permit. You know what I mean? And sometimes these people, they build a deck without a permit and they have some kind of crazy idea they're going to have to tear the damn deck down and rebuild it, where the city just wants you to go and pay the $150 permit fee and call for an inspection, and they might have to add an extra support under it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're typically not going to make them tie the place down, but
here we can look online.
Yeah.
We've got houses worth maybe $150,000 that have $400,000 worth of fine grass fines.
Oh my God.
And I've been in touch with the sellers. I've got a campaign for them saying, look, if you ever want to sell, let me know, because we did a deal up in Ocala where I'm from. My brother did, and he's like, what do I do? I'm like, well, here, go to the city, see what they'll take, go to the seller. By the time he bought this house, he ended up buying it for $12.
No kidding.
the way he negotiated the price with the seller and negotiated all the fines with the city. He's like, look, he was only out of pocket $12 and owned it free and clear.
Oh
So
my God, that's amazing.
I know. So I do pull the list every now and again and say, look, Mr. Homeowner, I know you owe like $6.5 million in lawn mowing. Well, and here in Florida, in Polk County, they can't enforce it. All they
Really?
can do is wait for this homeowner to sell this property. Well,
And
they may never sell. They're like that, they're sticking it to the city, and the city's trying to go. They've got no hand. So we just contact them and say, look, if you ever want to sell, I know you've got some code violations. That's not a problem. We can sort that out.
oh wow. Wow. So you've had some success with that in the past?
I've gotten a couple out of the way. Usually those people are just disgruntled, and
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, that city government, I know they're really a bunch of swines. I hope nobody's watching from the city, but but you can, that's the one thing. If you ever want to sell, I can sort all this out for you, and you can sell your home.
That's
Really,
pretty,
I can sell it. Sure, you
yeah,
can. And then all you do is go down to the city and say, hey, I know they owe 6.5 million. Will you take 2,000? Oh, you will? Okay, great.
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Hey, I got a book, man. I'll send you too. It's got a lot of ideas and stuff I've done. I wrote the book. It's called 53 Strategies to Get More Listings.
Okay.
I- I'll email you. I'll email you a copy. Just message me your email address, and I'll send it to you. It's got a lot of creative ideas and stuff I've done over the years, man. But
What do you think about bandit signs for buyers?
you know what? Like I've never done them personally because I just don't know about in the state of South Carolina, it's illegal to do what they call a net listing, which is basically me making a deal with you. Say you want $100,000 for your house, and we make the agreement that, oh,
Yeah.
whatever I get over $100,000, I get to keep.
Yeah.
And and with assignments of contracts and a lot of what these wholesaling guys do, it's basically a net listing agreement. So
Yeah.
I've kind of stayed away from those like we buy houses signs myself.
Well, no, it's not that. It's first time home buyer class. Sign says first time home buyer class.
Oh,
Go
oh,
put them out all over the place. It goes to a Google Voice number.
yes.
Every Saturday, have one of my new agents do like a 2 hour, free breakfast, hors d'oeuvres, whatever, for home buyers. Sign up the home buyers, get them an exclusive agent agreement. My lender will pay for all the stuff she said she would, and then kind of just build a huge pool of buyers.
Yeah, I would do
Not
it
that
if I
I
were you.
like buyers, but listen, I got kids to feed.
You know what we're doing with buyers right now? It's so easy to generate buyers, and it's cheap right now because so many people are looking to buy.
Yeah,
Um, so we can generate a lot of buyers. The problem in my market is a lot of those buyers really suck. So what we did was we partnered with a credit repair company. Those people that are missing it by like 20, 30 points. Those 20,
okay.
30 points can be gotten pretty easily. But this company, they'll stretch it out long term. And I'm glad to send you some information on who we're using. But yeah, man. So if they're 50 to 100 points away, if they basically do what this company says to do, and the credit repair is up to them. You know what I mean? We can
Yeah.
tell them all day long, hey, this is what you got to do. But if they don't want to settle up with a credit card, or they don't want to actually do it, then
And
they're
how
just
long
not
have you
going
been
to
doing
do
that?
it. You know what? I started probably 2 or 3 months ago with this particular company, and I actually done it myself. I hadn't had a credit card in 10 years, and I pulled my credit. I saw some funky things on it, and I was going to dispute it myself. And I said, shit, I'm busy, man. I don't want to deal with it. So I just paid this company to do it for me. And my score basically got bumped up like 40 points in like 45 days just from them basically disputing a few items that I think they were a mistake. They weren't mine. Or I don't
Are
remember
they
them.
expensive?
Um, I signed up. I signed up to be an agent so I could send clients because it was only like $100 more to be an agent versus just signing up for the service. But it was $289 to start, and then $89 a month.
For you or for the people?
That was for me to sign up to be an agent. Now the people that are actually you're sending to them, it's $189 a month and then $89 a month. And basically you end up getting paid. You get $100 for when they sign up, and then however long they're in the program, you get $12 a month residual.
Because
So if,
we did that about 3 or 4 years ago, and we
yeah,
signed up a whole bunch of people. It's just they either didn't have the cash to keep doing it every month, or would would get their credit cards squared away, then someone would come up and then they would
Max them back out.
max them back out.
Yep. Now this will let you monitor it, right? So you can kind of monitor that they are in the program or not in the program, so you can follow up. And if for some reason they drop out, you can follow up. But yeah, sometimes you know what the problem sometimes is people go out there and fix their credit. All of a sudden they go from a 500 to a 650, and then they go buy a damn new car. You know, I've been talking to them about buying a house. They go buy a damn new car. You know, they're
about 10 days out of closing, and they didn't qualify anymore.
Man, I had one not long ago. They bought $5,000 worth of furniture for the new house like 3 days before closing, and the lender had to go back. They financed it all, and the lender they ended up having to take it back to the I think it was like Rooms to Go or something. They took the stuff back to Rooms to Go, basically got the money back and got the stuff taken off. They got a letter. They had to submit to underwriting. It was a damn mess, but they ended up closing. But I mean, fortunately, we had a good lender that was smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it worked well. But the credit repair thing, the people that are a little longer term, you know, they have 500 credit scores. Sometimes they're a little bit. They're just irresponsible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's very few like me. Like I had a 577, man. And my problem was I had a couple of bad things that wasn't mine. And then I had a couple of, I just didn't have any new lines of credit. I didn't have anything new. So that was the problem. But a lot of these people, they got a 500 credit score because they don't pay on shit. You know,
yeah.
they've got a bunch of lines of credit. They just ain't paying on none of them.
I had somebody call me off of realtor.com referral. She's like, I got great credit. They said it was 400. That's huge. Yeah. Like, you realize that's out of like 900, right? Like,
yes. Some of them you can take the husband and wife, add their scores together, and they still can't qualify. They got a 12.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, man. So it's kind of interesting, but I've kind of learned, you know, right now is like a great time for people to generate a database of those buyers. A lot of those buyers are going to get priced out of the market today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, and we're going to hit another recession. I mean, me and you've been in the business for a while and you've been around for a while. We're going to go through another recession. Prices.
I'm not an expert, Jason, but whenever home prices increase at a level much higher than your income level, you're headed for a bubble. Because remember, before the real estate crash, you know, 03, 04, real estate prices were going through the roof. 5, 6, and 7, real estate prices were going through the roof. Income level did not move. Income level was flat. Whenever you have that split, it turns into fuzzy math, fuzzy financing, and you're going to have issues.
Well, one thing that I've heard my dad and granddad, they were in the real estate business, not really selling real estate, more building stuff. One of the things I heard them talk about was rental rates. You know, when we see rental rates go higher than mortgage prices, a bunch of people buy because it's cheaper to buy. Then all of a sudden, when we see situations where, hey, that house payment's $1,500, but they can rent the same house down the street for $1,000, they'll walk away from that house and go rent the one down the street. Yeah. And I mean, that's what we saw here in 2007, 2008, and and it's basically, I mean, it's going to happen again. It's just a matter of when is it going to happen again?
Yeah, and, I love rentals myself. I mean, I got a bunch of them, and yeah, if the market crashes, I'll buy more.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too, man. I feel like, you know what, I'm smarter than I was. I've been in the business for about 14 years, and I'm smarter than I was before because I'm only interested in buying things that can pay for itself now. You know, I'm not really interested in buying land unless I can put mobile homes on it. I'm not really interested in developing something that I'm going to have to carry for 6 years, you know, things like that. But anyway, man, I told you I was only going to keep you on here 20 minutes, and we went about 30. Man, if somebody has a referral, they want to refer some business to you, how can they get in touch with you?
The easiest thing is just to email me. My email address is Gavin, Gavin, at CMTG Properties. That's CMTG, Carlos, Mike, Tom, George, properties.com.
Cool, man. Well, hey, I really appreciate having you on here today, and I really appreciate you doing this with me. Thank you.
Hey, man, anytime. Good luck on Baby Watch.
Hey, thanks, man. Have a great day.
All right, take care.